Don't stop. Don't ever stop. Don't ever leave me. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Do not adjust the TV. I simply got better looking since you saw me on the 5 a few hours ago. If it keeps happening, I'm going to change the name of this show to the 10. I don't need those people. Tonight, I want to talk about something that might not be on your radar, but will be soon. Affirmative action, that's right, in college admissions, which has advanced more unqualified people than the last name Biden. On Monday, the Supreme Court heard 2 cases challenging the race-centric policies at the University of North Carolina and Harvard, or as I call them, my safety schools. The UNC case argues that using race in admissions violates civil rights law and the Constitution, or what the Dems refer to as that pain-in-the-ass scrap of paper. Harvard is accused of discriminating against Asian students. That's right, Harvard. You know, the school that produced Joy Reid, Liz Warren, Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama, all of whom love to call other people racist. They're more obsessed with color than a bomb tech cutting red and blue wires. I'm so glad you got that. I just got to cut it out. But while the left loves to defend all minorities from perceived racism, with Asians, they don't give a I spell it P-H-U-K. The Asian way. Thank you, thank you. I'm culturally appropriate, but that's because Asians fill spaces in great colleges in numbers that are higher than their percentage of the general population. So it's a great message for today's youth. Work hard and sacrifice, and someday you too can get moved to the back of the line. But that's how punitive ideologies work. Those who rise get pounded down in the name of equity. It's not about equality of opportunity anymore, but making everybody suck at the same level. But if you want that kind of mediocrity, skip college and join The View's live audience. The oral arguments between lawyers for both sides and the judges took almost 6 hours. But if anything done orally takes that long, they must be doing it wrong. What was that? What's wrong with me? It's disgusting. 6 hours, 6 hours. We pause now to watch all of it.
You missed me.
Yeah, that'll teach you.
Folks, this must stop.
Guess we loaded the wrong tape. At least they didn't load that other tape labeled oral. Anyway, I'll just fire that person later. I pay it forward by doing it in front of their children. Now, experts think the court will end up banning the practice. Liberal judges, though, are against that, saying you can't have diversity without it. Now, that would make sense decades ago when Sandra Day O'Connor once pointed out that affirmative action was a temporary remedy, something you need until you don't need it anymore, like crutches for a sprained ankle, training wheels on a bike, or that topical cream Larry Kudlow recommended. Still have half a tube if anyone's interested. Tyrus. But the problem with leftists, they never believe anything is temporary unless it's a statue, the Bill of Rights, or a fetus. But everything they're for, that always sticks around, though they get amnesia when asked which party defended slavery and founded the KKK. Meanwhile, the court's majority questions the legal reasons for affirmative action. And when Harvard's lawyers tried to downplay using race in admissions, Chief Justice Roberts stated the obvious. Schools who ask kids to check a box for their race, that must have some impact on admission decisions, or else it wouldn't be included. You know, no one adds a box if they don't want you to use that box. Take it from me, I spent 4 years inside a box. Under Cavuto's bed. Anyway, but Roberts could have just said, lawyers, I got 2 words for you, Liz Warren. Or 1 word, Pocahontas. After all, she's the white lady who faked being an Indian to get into Harvard. Yeah, Liz Warren. Or as her tribal elders call her, dances with mayonnaise. Also, if white privilege is such a huge problem, why is 1/3 of white students pretending not to be white when applying for college? They tick the other boxes with labels like mixed, indigenous, or Rachel Dolezal. So even they realize it's better to be non-white than white. And when you have that kind of institutional racism, you don't need affirmative action anymore. It's like a sprinter faking a limp so they can park in handicap spaces. Now, the conservative justices did note they'd be willing to allow students to discuss their race in their applications, but in essay form. And that's what I did to get into Berkeley. I told them how I was raised by a black family. Which was kind of true, having watched every single episode of The Jeffersons. I love them. Of course, the left wasn't thrilled.
This Supreme Court has no problem throwing out precedent and ruling in a really partisan political way.
If they say race can't even be considered there, next they will say it shouldn't be considered in the private sector.
The 6 justices, conservative justices on the Supreme Court, will let them do it because they don't actually think the diversity is important.
The people who have benefited most from affirmative action have been women who are white. Affirmative action works for all those of us who were not allowed to go to the institutions where we thought we could do our best.
Well, get used to all that, because the left is going to ram this idea home that the court getting rid of affirmative action will set the country back. Well, the way it's going now, how can that be a bad idea? I say set it back to January of 2017. Red meat. That was when 45 was sworn in, Jamie. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's the woman of Bruce Jenner's dreams. Fox News contributor Caitlyn Jenner. The only time he split someone's sides is when he stole a kidney. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. She's like an old campaign sign, often found face down in your yard. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. And he clips his nails with garden shears. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Television Champion, Tyrant. Caitlyn, thank you for flying across the country to be on this show.
It is always my pleasure. I look forward to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you. Literally, you are quite big.
Yes, and I'm a big fan. I watch it all the time. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm a person, political humor is really important. I think what's going on in this country right now is it's so depressing to see what's happening. You know, ever since, a year ago, I was in the governor run, and I started to come from the inside of politics and started to see what's going on. And to be honest, it's just a scam.
Yeah.
And I just get so upset with people lying and doing things that you need to keep your sense of humor.
Yes.
About all of this stuff. And so that's why I really enjoy the show. I enjoy coming in here, having a good laugh, but.
Yeah.
But we also have to be serious about it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I sat you next to Jamie Lissow because you wanted a good laugh.
Yeah.
Jesse, do you know there was a Supreme Court? Because I know you live in Alaska. Mm-hmm. Up there, they have igloos and seals.
Didn't you say the Supreme Court was regular court with sour cream and lettuce?
Yeah.
It didn't get by me that you're like telling Caitlyn how awesome it is that she came all the way from California. I came from Alaska. California was one of my 2 layovers. But nobody.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
Hey, Jamie, you're not alone. I'm flying every week from the middle of the country, not to thank you one time.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm bigger than Caitlyn.
You guys.
I mean, still. Not even.
Physically.
Not even.
Physically bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm having to live here.
Yeah.
Never thanked her once for walking to work.
Yeah, that is
Not
true.
even once.
Yeah, the worst commute is walking from the west side to this studio.
Yeah.
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 Got to dodge all that human.
Yep.
But just real quick, I would just say on this story, like, first of all, I can't believe Harvard tried to pull one over by having a disproportionate amount of Asians at their school. Like, they're gonna find out they're the best at math. And then I think that's all I have to say, because it's like I couldn't possibly comment on. I couldn't possibly be whiter. you know what I mean? Like I'm so like for real. My doctor told me when I go out in the sun to wear SPF 100. Did you even know that was real? It's for like babies and me. And I squeezed the bottle. A T-shirt came out.
Yeah, I loved how he was able to work that into this affirmative action segment by saying, I don't want to talk about this. I'm white.
You see, I come from the athletic world.
Yes.
And there's no affirmative action there.
No.
Okay? That doesn't make any difference what your race is, what the color of your skin is. First person to the finish line wins.
Yeah.
It is about who's going to work the hardest, who's going to have the talent to be able to get out there to win. And I've never been a really big fan of affirmative action. I think it's not good for our universities. A lot of these students who go there, they see other students there and they wonder, why are they there? I mean, are they there because of their merit, what they were able to do in their life and the grades that they get that they work so hard for? Maybe not. Maybe they're there because of the color of their skin or their ethnic background or whatever it may be.
That's the problem.
I want the best people qualified to go to that school, and no matter what the color of your skin is, your ethnic background.
They maybe, it served a purpose. What are you doing?
I'm listening intently to you babbling, waiting for my question.
All right. What do you think, Tyrus? What do you think, Tyrus?
I think, like I said, there was a time in this country when affirmative action was necessary because we had to even the playing field. But we've gotten to a point now where if you do the work, you get the opportunity. America's about opportunity now. And here's the thing, and I've seen this firsthand as a teacher and just being out. When you culturally in your family put an emphasis on education, like a lot of American families, especially African-American families and white families, we put our kids' interest on high stakes with no reward. Like, my son's going to play in the NFL. My daughter's going to be an actress and a singer. He's going to have those things are up to somebody else. But when you put those work ethics in math, science, and education, like most Asian families do, that's the emphasis. Being the doctor is the star, not getting a Sprites commercial. When that is the thing, of course you will see if the families put the effort in there, they are the ones who are should be the first ones picked to go to college because they did the work. They emphasized what was important. And what the liberals do now with affirmative action is they've reversed it. They don't use it to get groups in, they use it to divide. And eliminate, we don't want to do this, we want to segregate this. And if you're white and you're from Illinois and you worked your ass off and maybe you didn't play sports, but all you did is hit the books and you have the GPA, there is no reason you should not go to that school based on opportunity and merit, other than somebody sitting there going, no, we can't have him because he's white. That is no difference than in the 60s saying, no, we can't have him because he's black.
Do you think, like you open that statement up with, at one point, affirmative action had its place. I agree with that statement. It did have it. Almost like today, the woke world we're living in, okay? We've kind of gone past affirmative action, I think, and we have to kind of go to the next step. And it's the same thing you're seeing right now with the whole woke world. People are sick of it. It's just ridiculous what they're doing. And have we passed that point yet?
Too much of a bad thing. I got to get Kat in here. I think you'd be great on the Supreme Court. You know why? Because you already spend most of your day in a robe arguing.
A significant part of it, yeah. It depends on what day, like Sunday, yes.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true. I had no idea. Are you filming my apartment?
No comment.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just don't move that champagne bottle. The fridge.
Right. I think diversity is a good thing. I also just think there's other kinds of diversity besides color of your skin and your genitals.
Yeah.
And I think those are actually two of the least relevant things in determining who someone is as a person. And apparently that makes me a bigot.
Yep.
That makes no sense to me. I know that some people have to go through certain kinds of adversity in their lives. But there are other ways to find out that someone's gone through that, like maybe an essay.
Yeah.
You know, college admissions never ask for those.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to figure that out. And at this point, it doesn't make any sense, and there's really no justification for it.
Hey, Sean Hannity.